team. I'm joined at this hour by my guests, former Indian cricket team physio John Gloster and sports broadcaster Prakash Vakankar. John, let me come to you. Interesting thoughts there by Rahul Dravid. He said, as we say in the dressing room, double it up, 200 tests possible for Virat Kohli?
Well, if there's one guy that's going to do it from a fitness perspective, I think Virat's the guy. We all know that Sachin set the benchmark in terms of longevity in the game. He did that on the back of being fit and being smart, and I think Virat's the guy that has brought the non-negotiation around fitness to Indian cricket and perhaps global cricket. And if there's one guy that's going to do it, it's going to be him on the back of his fitness. But fantastic to see Rahul handing that cap over, and he outlined 4 or 5 of the key points that allow you to get to 100 test matches, as well as play in all 3 formats of the game, discipline, integrity, all the things that Rahul stood for his entire career, Virat's played out as well. So, not only that, but also fantastic to see some crowd there to at least appreciate that moment and give a round of applause to somebody that thoroughly deserves it for cricket in the subcontinent.
Prakash, Virat Kohli in an interview said, my career, my life is an example that anything is possible. And he goes on to talk about in the era of 3 formats, getting to that magic figure of 100. Do you think he is setting pretty high bars for the next generation to follow, and that magic figure of 100 will be difficult to get here on?
Well, I mean, one hopes that there will be others who will get to 100 because the Test cricket format indeed is under pressure for a variety of reasons. But as John said, and if anyone knows a thing or two about fitness and staying fit in this environment, then John certainly does. He knows how many people and how many players he's got back on the park from seemingly difficult positions. As far as Virat's career and his talking about how that journey has panned out, I think he was very clear from the start. Riding on the back of his dad's scooter, I suppose, in Delhi, where his dad used to take him around to see games of cricket, to where he is today. I think his priorities have always been very, very specific, very focused. And he's been able to adapt across 3 formats. There aren't a whole lot of people who can do that and do that consistently over a period of time. So it's an absolutely fabulous achievement. And I dare say the 50% or whatever crowd was allowed into Mohali certainly didn't make us feel that it wasn't a full house. They certainly were roaring, and rightly so.
John, you have pretty much seen Virat Kohli from the start of his test career. He started his test journey in 2011. What are the couple of things that about Virat Kohli that has really stood out for you? Because you not only handle cricketers, but also Olympic athletes. So, I'm not getting into comparisons, but, just talking about Virat Kohli and the athlete, what really has stood out for you?
I think the thing about Virat is he watched, listened, and he learned. And he learned an enormous amount by being in the dressing room of RCB, surrounded by some of those internationals in his early part of his career. And I think he realized that he had the potential. There's no doubt about that. But the differentiator for him in terms of consistency of performance was going to be spelled out because of his lack of fitness. And he highlighted that himself in the early days. He looked around that dressing room and realized that he could compete with all of them if he improved on that side of his game. And it's no coincidence. As soon as he focused on that, he became the #1 player in the world across all 3 formats. He took that mantra into the Indian dressing room as well and took them to #1 in the world. So I think that he will be remembered as a great leader. He'll be remembered as a great cricketer, but I think he'll be remembered amongst our cricket fraternity in this country as the guy that really pushed the button. We attempted it in our role throughout our, journey, my 18-year journey of Indian cricket. But he's the guy that pushed the big button on fitness and said, right, it's a non-negotiable. You guys, you want to survive at this level, have longevity in the game across all 3 formats, then this is what we have to do, and put his hand up and said, I will lead the way. And there have been others before him who've done it, but because he's had that visibility in that space for so long, he's the one that's represented fitness as a crucial component in sport, not just cricket, in all sport across this country.
In all of Indian sport, would you say?
Absolutely, yeah. And he has held the mantra for all the young kids. He's put himself out there and said, you want to perform in life, you want to perform in terms of health, wellness, fitness, outside of sport, but he's also embraced other sports through various mechanisms and other mechanisms as well, to say that this is all encompassing. This is a critical, crucial part of us developing ourselves as a nation. If we're going to use sport as that vehicle, then we can do it through fitness, and out of that comes your better mental health outcomes, your better physical outcomes, longevity,
right.
And overall less of a burden on the healthcare system in this country. So I think it's an incredible sort of message that he's delivered through his vehicle, which is sport and Test cricket.
Well, setting the bar really, really high there, and his biggest legacy has been fitness. Perhaps one of the other legacy has been getting a bunch of fast bowlers into the dressing room and taking India to Test number 1. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the broadcast at this hour. We will continue to discuss Virat Kohli, his performance, and of course, how he goes on in his 100th Test. Right now, he is in the middle, batting on 19. Hanuma Vihari on the other end is batting on 41. With that, a wrap on Turning Point. For now, we'll see you at the tea time. Thank you very much for watching.